Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for December 2013, and every year at this time the Sun comes into the same area. It's a very social area for you, meeting and greeting with others, connecting, sharing what you know, sharing experience, running around more maybe, and you will have a lot more to get your head around. Educational pursuits, travel, all that kind of thing is highlighted, so communications, physical and mental, and perhaps you considering plans, schedules, timetables, itineraries, that kind of thing. Or maybe it's not like that at all. Maybe you're considering more inward types of things. The big banner across the sky actually this month, Libra, is the entrance of Mars into your sign. Mars, the great driver of the zodiac energies. You know, Mars is all about impetus. Mars is the spark plug, you know, that starts the engine. Mars, the great initiator, fire starter, motivator, and making more of this than I usually would, because Mars is going to be in your sign for an exceptionally long time. It's definitely going to give you a boost, and it's going to accelerate things around you as well, and get you striving more than ever to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. But you will tend to have the vitality to keep up, and sometimes you will feel like you're having to keep up as there's more hustle and bustle around you. Mars is going to be in your sign until next July, and of course it will be affecting most strongly those degrees, those dates of your birth between September and October the most. As it moves around, it'll move forwards and then backwards, forwards and backwards, but I'll be mentioning that again. But I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute, but just a mention of Mercury. Mercury is in a very practical area, so conversations and paperwork, that kind of thing, will tend to have a more practical slant. You're doing it because, you know, it will be useful, it will serve you in some way. So the piggy bank, property, possessions, bits of kit, sort of material bits of substance stuff will be on your mind, and conversations could be revolving around these things, and you will be looking into how to improve things, maybe playing with ideas on how to improve things in this quite physical material area, or just wanting to be kept up to speed, wanting the information, wanting the briefing about, you know, how things, you know, stand in this very material physical area here, and so that the information will be a tool for you to serve you in some way, to know what's best for yourself, how to proceed, what's best for others on these very basic levels, and resources of all kinds. But another thing is about Mercury here is that you'll have to think about what is of most value to you at the moment, where your priorities are, and figure out how to capitalize on whatever resource you've got to capitalize on, including your own natural gifts, Libra. So when you're listening to this, that's where Mercury is going to be, but actually Mercury moves quite early on in the month, moves on the 5th into a very chatty, outgoing area, and it's to do with, again, connecting, gathering, sharing information. So there's going to be increased interchanges through speaking, writing, mixing, mingling, in person, over the wires. Quite likely there's going to be more paperwork type things as well, and you know, you being in the stream of information exchange more. Venus, your ruling planet, is in another super long transit along with the one that Mars is about to start. Venus is in Capricorn until next March, beaming friendly, warm energies into the root of your chart, lighting up in a favorable way family connections, and then you could settle a feud if there's been an imbalance there. There's been, you know, tension between you and another family member. That could be fixed, but you got to work with it. You know, the energies aren't just going to do it all for you. But also it encourages a more harmonious time at home. You like your surroundings better. and also you could be welcomed into other people's spaces, or you're more the visitor to theirs. And as this is such a long transit, it can be panning out in lots of ways. You know, you'll be in different sort of stages of it as the thing kind of emerges, as the pattern really starts to get coloured in your life. And also you could be liking where you're located. You could benefit through property. So, you know, if there's thinking about property exchange, that could be beneficial. But once again, you know, you need to play your cards right. And you could be feeling a little nostalgic as well over this time with Venus here. You could be harking back to the past. However, as I said earlier, this Venus energy, which tends to be the great harmonizer and balancing energy, will tend to heal old wounds from the past and bring more equilibrium to your emotions. Then Mars, well, Mars is still in the previous sector as the month kicks off, so until the 8th, Mars is in a very inward area where things are incubating, things are growing, maybe they're ideas, maybe they're projects, maybe it's literally something growing, you know, in the soil or in another way. I see this area as a kind of chrysalis within which something is developing. So this is very much in the wings, backstage, something developing, something developing, something developing. So use that very dynamic Mars energy in that very background area to do that, but also to recharge batteries, to go in for more nurturing, restful pursuits whenever you can, and just, you know, let go. I mean, you know, it's not rocket science, just let go and let others take the strain whenever you can. This dynamic energy can be used in all sorts of ways, in a more imaginative sense, in a more spiritual sense, in a more healing kind of a way. And you will possibly be more in demand as a support or an enabler in some way for somebody else. So, you know, just make sure you've got a good boundary on that there. Don't kind of overdo it and tire yourself out, because Mars doesn't have an off switch sometimes, you know, so just watch that one. But then from the 8th, Mars is going into your sign for this 8-month transit. This will definitely speed up your world. The need for you to be decisive and active going forwards will be increasing. It will bring a more activity around you, but also you'll tend to have the vitality to keep up with that activity. But you yourself should be initiating things. You yourself should be getting the ball rolling on things. You'll be feeling in the mood to do that in general. And when you're not, then, you know, make sure you get enough rest and recuperation to keep up with things. And you'll get clearer about things. You'll get more confident about objectives, maybe that were kind of a bit up in the air and wifty-wafty before. And some of you will get plunged into situations that just need you to make a decision, need you to be assertive, need you to take the lead, really, and get you working harder. So although Mars tends to boost vitality, the advice would be still to engineer downtime for yourself, to just try and be smart, customize things in a way to suit you better, pacing yourself, and then that should work, you know, really work. If you can harness that Mars energy, you can be very successful and achieve a huge amount over this time. So yeah, get with the program, whatever that's about, and watch your step as you go forwards. Now, especially watch your step. This rather impulsive side of Mars in the second half of December, particularly from the 20th onwards, when Mars is spinning over the degrees of Uranus and Pluto, both very strong influences in the transits to your sun sign at the moment, Libra. And there will tend to be a changeable, restless energy around. you know, it's not it's not a steady energy. It's got a feeling of volatility with it. So if you've been striving towards innovative change, you're being creatively changing in some way, or something has been creatively changing, then the potentially disruptive effects of this transit will be transmuted into some kind of desirable change. But this is the vibration, which is quite sort of sparky and electrical in one way, and in another way it's quite sort of radically kind of different. And so just try and, it can be happening in a minor way with you as well. But it can be panning out in lots of different ways. It might even be an event in the outer world. It might even be, you know, heavy weather coming in. I mean, it depends really on the natal chart and about a million other factors. But if you got the heads up on this, use your instinct to try to interpret the messages that are being written on the wall, because nothing is for nothing, and everything has a particularly unique message for us all, you know, in each in our individual lives. And you Librans born the 22nd to the 23rd of September, or with 0 to 13, sorry, you Librans born, yeah, you Librans born on the 22nd to the 23rd of September, all the way through to around about the 13th, the 12th, 13th of October, or with 0 to 13 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. Now, until next July, Jupiter will be in your area of career and overall life direction, so that's opening doors for you. Meaning, you know, that you sometimes could be puzzling over which is the best way for you to go, because there could be more than one option there. And it's likely that you will you feel more established in some field, or in some decision that you've taken and that you're pursuing, especially with Mars in your sign, which is more like the hare than the tortoise. So you definitely have this feeling, you know, competitive juices going. You really be put after something. This can really underpin this transit of Jupiter. You can feel more established, you can feel happy with your direction in life, and you know, I wouldn't say something could drop into your lap out of the blue, but there could just be a break here with Jupiter in that sector of your solar chart out until next July. And you Librans born between the 8th and the 14th of October, with 15 to 21 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most this month. So something might be in the wind, and you might just get the whiff of potential. Saturn moved out of your sign on the 6th of October 2012, you may have noticed, particularly you later Librans. And now it's gone into the area where it's challenging you through the physical, material aspects of life. More aware of the physical side of things, more aware of the financial side of things, matters around property as well. And disciplined effort has been needed and will continue to be needed from you to manage things better, to get organized better on those basic levels, the piggy bank, etc. And whether it's cash or vegetables, you just need to be more consistent and more persistent. Gradually this side of life will take shape, as it always does, under the influence of Saturn, the great builder of the zodiac, but consistency will be the key. And you Librans born between the 9th and the 14th of October, with 16 to 21 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this month. You know, you may have been working harder at trying to materialize or realize something, to bring something to fruition, and feeling quite pressured over that at times as well, as though it's a bit burdensome at times. But overall, new doors will be opening in your career area, and you should be thinking bigger in that area there, and more realistic about where you go to from here in life and how you are going to get there. And that's it for December. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. They'll give you a more rounded view. If you are interested in what's going on with the outer planets and the degrees they may be affecting you this month, that's on my website. And I wish you a happy time during the festive season, however you're going to celebrate that, if you're going to do it at all. And I will see you in the new year, if not before.